Hopefully, hopefully this it's my first time doing this type of stuff, so hopefully it works right.
Yeah, it looks like we're live right now. Welcome to the
Awesome. Yeah,
live
well,
stream
welcome everybody.
Eclipse. This is the first time that we've done a live stream together, but we've kind of been talking for a while and been
Yeah.
sharing some leads back and forth. So it's been fun. Good to actually hang out together. Big tip, guys. If you guys can have some friendships and actually share some leads back and forth, some brand ideas back and forth, that is a huge tip. Really is helpful. Because like, why not? Like, it doesn't hurt you. So just
Yeah.
be willing to share stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
facts. Like today I was like I tweeted, I was like, networking is the number one way to get better at online arbitrage. Like there's no bet, like you could watch all the YouTube videos in the world, you could read all the Instagram posts, whatever it is, but you're not going to get better unless you like actually just talk to other sellers or like send people DMs. Like just it sounds weird, but like randomly DM a ton of people in the space. I'm sure somebody's going to help you out. Like yeah.
Definitely. And especially if you're leading with value, like if you're like commenting on someone's story and being like, oh, like this brand is similar to that, or just helping them out in any way, usually something good comes back to you. So, yeah, that's definitely my experience with that. Is I've been reselling since 2019. Definitely learned a lot from YouTube, but didn't really talk to other sellers very much until like late last year. And business literally doubled at that point
Yeah.
after like several months of doing that.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
nuts. Because like you get to be around the people who are actually doing what you're wanting to do, and you start to kind of assimilate their beliefs in a way just by spending time with them. And then you end up having the right beliefs, and then things actually change. I don't know if you've ever noticed that for yourself,
Yeah,
Cody.
definitely. Like I've been selling stuff since 2017, but it was more of like a kind of part-time thing. Like I was going to school full time, working part-time, and then doing like some reselling for basically like 2.5 years. So I really didn't have like too much time to resell, but I tried to do it alone. Like I tried to do like just consume content, but all of the growth happened through talking with other people because it everything just clicks because like you might be trying to figure out a problem on your own for like 4 hours, or like you have a certain method there like, oh, you think works, but there's probably a better way. You just have to talk to somebody else to figure it out. That's
Exactly.
what I found, at least.
Yeah, it's valuable, like having a friendship that you could just ask someone a question and get a response within 24 hours, and they like actually care about you.
Yeah, it's like you have any account health issues. Like I had like 4 A to Z claims in like 2 days, and that really messed up my account. And all of them were basically things that were outside of my control. Like I fought and I won all of them, but it got my metrics like really messed up. But I just DM'd people. I had people in the community that helped me out, and then I was able to get that off of my account in like a week. So it was awesome.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so what have you been working on in your business lately?
So right now, I've been having like last month I kind of had like some prep center issues. I was at like 45 k revenue my last month, and then this month we're gonna be at about 35K revenue, but we're still it depends on how you factor it. Like this month we're netting about 5K, and then if you factor in all of the cash back and all that other stuff, we're at 6K profit a month. So that's pretty good. That's the thing too, is like I made a post about it. It's like nobody ever talks about like their actual net, and I feel like that's the most important part. um but right now, like I mainly sell shoes. I sell like some apparel, some other things, but I'd say like I'm about 90% shoes right now, and I want to like branch into other things. Like I'm trying to sell more niche brands that like I wouldn't even call it like niche because like everybody knows about these brands, but just like brands other people aren't targeting. Like everybody wants to flip Nikes on Amazon, but nobody really talks about flipping Pumas, Reeboks, like on cloud, like all these other, like there's a billion, like there's so many different brands of shoes. I'm starting to branch into that, and I've been consuming your content and Josiah's content. like every day pretty much. I'm like, man, I need to get on the eBay to Amazon grind. So like the past 2 days, I loaded up. I don't know if you've ever used this software. It's called Flipmine. I loaded up that, and I've been grinding it. I found like $600 worth of profit so far.
Well, that's
So
good.
pretty happy, pretty happy about that. But yeah, like what software do you use for eBay to Amazon flips?
I'm curious too. So you're kind of expanding into other categories other than shoes, or were you using Flipmine for shoes, eBay to Amazon, or what were you doing?
Not not I haven't used it for shoes eBay to Amazon, but I have bought shoes from eBay and then I've sold them on Amazon before. But the thing is, it's kind of like a gray area because they're technically like if you do it, only buy the shoes above $100, so they get that eBay authentication guarantee. Because if you ever did get like an IP complaint, like I haven't faced that issue yet, but if you ever did, I've heard of people in the community like they're able to fight it because eBay verifies that they're real. Because that's a real big problem with selling shoes, especially if you buy them from eBay to flip onto Amazon. Is like the IP complaints. That's really the big thing. So if you do that, buy them above $100. But no, I just like manually source for that for like the different shoe models. But most of the shoes that I buy, it's off of like different sites. Like everybody and their mother buys from Nike, but there's like a bunch of other like sites that are like real sleepers. I wouldn't necessarily call eBay a sleeper, but eBay is like such a great place to make money. They have like Hibbit, and then like if you just look up like just see what shoe shops are in your area, and then look up the online store of those, and then just try to stack discount codes. I'm sure everybody's kind of heard this type of stuff. But it's like you really just you look at all the different websites that carry those products that you want to sell, and then you just figure out how to get them for super cheap with discount codes. I'm a huge fan of the oh god the discounted gift cards. I love using those. I don't do you use those? I know you do eBay to Amazon a lot, but do you ever buy discounted gift cards?
Um, I actually don't. I looked into it one time and I think it probably would be really helpful because you can often get like one to isn't it like usually 1 to 3% back from the cards? It just like seemed like I couldn't buy in bulk enough. Like it was like I had to do like a whole
Okay.
transaction for like $100 and then have to do it again. And I do use Top
Yeah.
Cash though, and I like that a lot. That's pretty quick.
Yeah, top cash back, like top cash back is amazing. But with the gift cards, I use them like a lot.
Yeah.
um the thing that's good about them is like certain sites, like say like Finish Line is one that I've bought a lot of gift cards from. Like they'll it depends on the day, but like sometimes they'll be 5%, and then like Finish Line sometimes has like these promote or my bad, Rakuten has these things where
Oh yeah.
they'll do like 15% cash back on Finish Line. You add that with the 5% like the 5% gift card that you're buying from Raise, and you're getting 20% off of everything. And then you have another discount on top of that. That's basically my whole business so far.
Wow.
It's just doing kind
Yeah.
of that loop, I guess you'd say, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
exactly. It's cool to see all the like all the little moats you can put around your products. And I'm gonna shout out a
yeah.
couple people in the chat. We got Johnny Swag in here.
Yo,
What's up? Good
Johnny.
to see you. We got FBA Alex. We've been getting to know him recently. Let's go. Heard about those, bro. Like 10% discounts sometimes, right? Yeah, like you can get some really good discounts with those discounted gift cards as well. I feel like for me, when I'm doing eBay to Amazon, half the time I'm purchasing on my phone. And so I'm just like, well, it's hard to do all this cashback stuff. I just want to like purchase it and like
Yeah.
be done with it. So that's the trade-off. It's like it's super convenient and quick and I'm not spending a ton of time on it, but then I don't get that extra percentage back. So these days I'm trying to be like, all right, put it in the cart on my phone and then get on my computer and then load up cashback and then get that money back.
Yeah, that's the thing is it's like such a process just to get like a few percent off, but it adds. I come like I want to say like I've never drop shipped on Amazon. I want to say that clearly, but I've come from like basically like a year and a half, 2 years ago. I made a good bit of money drop shipping, and it's like every little percent really adds up when you're because I was working off of a volume game like in 20 so I ran that business a while ago. In 2021 I had over uh 6600 orders, and it's like it's like every percent, especially like
Mhm.
say you're only making like 15% or 10%, if you can add another percent to that through buying like discounted gift cards, it's just like every percent adds up. Like when you look at the books, like oh, you might be like, oh, it's 2%, not gonna do that, but I like to squeeze it all out, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking about squeezing it out, one thing that I do always do is I use the Capital One Spark for just about all my purchases.
That's
So
good.
that's a solid 2%, no matter the category, no matter what it is, no matter the site. Just very basic, easy 2% cash back.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Nothing complicated about it. Just swipe the card, just use that one, make sure you have enough limit on it. And that's a super I think I've made about close to 7,000 this year just off the Capital One Spark, which is just
That's
major icing on the cake.
yeah, that's awesome. I basically do the same thing, but I have the Amex Business Blue.
Okay.
Um, and I really like that because it has the Amex employee cards, and
Hmm.
for that you can basically have like a I don't want to get into it way too much, but basically you can have like another virtual card. So if like a site limits you, you can get over these order limits. So that's a really uh that's a really great thing to use.
Oh,
Um,
interesting. So like if they cancel your orders, you'll just use the other card.
Yeah, you just use your other employee cards, and they're hard cards, so like it's a little bit different than a privacy. I've also bought it in the past. I know it kind of sounds like I've done a little bit of everything, but it's kind of true. I used to bot in the past, so I have a lot of knowledge like from doing that, because like if anybody's watching that's ever tried like botting or doing things like it's insanely hard, and like getting over these sites canceling your orders and your orders actually going through is very difficult, but you find ways around it. And one of those ways is the Amex cards, the employee cards.
Was it
Um,
often about email and address as well for you?
yeah, so like on a site, like to like, I mean, I could talk about this for like hours, but like really what it is like if a site cancels your orders, right? They're seeing, okay, where's the order coming from? So like your location, aka like your proxy, right? So like your actual location, your billing information, your email address, like everything that you insert into the computer. If they connect that to a past order and say it's like a limit one, like they don't want you to get more than one, they'll ban your order. Like, or I mean, not ban your order, they'll cancel your order. Maybe soft ban you off the site. You know, always so funny. It's like they they just try to. These sites don't want money. You know,
It's super weird. I
it
don't.
really is. I like with eBay, you can just order. It's awesome.
Yeah,
no,
there's no
nobody's
problems with
gonna.
eBay.
What was that?
There's no problems with eBay. Everyone just like, please give me money. I'm poor.
Exactly.
That's so mean, but
I
um,
mean,
in some cases, I mean, some people are like, no, you need to give me market price, and then you're like, all right,
all
see ya.
right, yeah. A
I
lot of people
appreciate
are
you.
hobby sellers too. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like, yeah. How often do you like send like a lot of offers to these people on eBay? Like, do you always do offers, or you just like? I guess it depends on the item, right?
Yeah, it definitely depends on the item. My philosophy on it, and I got to turn on the AC. It is absolutely freaking hot in here. So that's why I'm walking around the house. But yeah, most of the time my philosophy on it is if it hits the ROI that I'm looking for, I just go ahead and buy it now.
Okay.
I don't want to sit around and like send a bunch of offers and like negotiate and spend all that time dealing with all that if I don't have to.
Yeah.
But you can also make really good money by sending offers. And so sometimes it'll be pretty close to the ROI that I'm looking for, and I'll send an offer. Sometimes if I'm not desperate at all for the item, I'll just send a bunch of offers like low balls and see what happens. Really just depends on the item, but like you'd be surprised what people will actually accept if you send like 10 plus offers on something.
Yeah.
Like you can make some serious money from people.
you just
Yeah.
lowball.
I mean, like
That's
reasonable,
yeah, yeah.
empathetic balls, but yeah.
Do you ever like message this, like say there's no like what is it, make an offer button? Do you ever just like message the seller and be like, "Hey, can I like get this for like 20 bucks off?" I feel like it's a little disrespectful, but
No, man, I literally did that today.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
You just go, okay.
There was one,
Manufacturing a little bit of margin, you know.
yeah, there was one product. It was at $80. I was really wanting like I think an 80% ROI because it was kind of a slower moving item. I said it was at $80 plus like 15 shipping. And I messaged him and said, hey, I can do 65 total. If that works for you, I can pay right now. If not, no worries. Have a great day, something like that. And he's just like,
Okay.
okay, that works. Smiley face. It was very strange.
Okay. That's awesome. Yeah, that's a great message. I think I in the past, like I I- I've been really savage with it. I'm like, would you take 85? But I think that's a really good like, or whatever price it is, right? I think that's a really good way to like word it.
Yeah. Or if you don't have time, you can just say, I can pay right now. Like I just send that a lot of the time, like literally no period. I can pay right now. Offer.
Offer, yeah. That's
Uh, we
awesome.
So FBA Alex is saying, so botting is just having code to do the sourcing more or less. I'm
Yeah,
not exactly sure what you mean, but maybe you understand.
yeah, so all I gotta say is like you don't really have to worry what botting is or anything. It's something completely unrelated to selling on Amazon. Basically,
Make
like if there's a,
selling on
it
Amazon.
it's like if you look at the sneaker community, say they'll drop like 100 pairs and everybody's trying to buy the same item. Basically, what a bot is it allows you to have a lot of attempts to try to check out that item that everybody else is. It's nothing related to Amazon. Trying to not confuse you, FBA Alex. It's just something I used to do like 2 years ago during COVID, and it's just another way to make money online. It's not necessarily Amazon related.
Like you run
Uh,
a program that analyzes.
it doesn't analyze anything. It just tries to check out like a normal human. But imagine like basically the bot would try to check out an item like you would as a normal human, but times like 1,000. So like 1,000 people trying to check out all at once, but for an item that you're trying to buy. It's a little bit complicated, but if you want to learn about it, you can just look up. Yeah, if you want to learn about it, you can look up sneaker botting. There's a guy named Nova Butterboy Nova. He's like really big in the botting space. But Amazon's a better business, 100%. Botting's kind of a waste of time in my opinion. Amazon's just such a good opportunity.
I mean, couldn't you bot for certain Amazon items?
Yes.
Yeah, but like that's the point. Like, isn't the whole point of botting just to like be able to
Acquire.
come out and purchase stuff that's really competitive?
Yes, so like if there's an item, I know there's I don't want to get the chat too confused. But I know like say you have a replen, right? And it's always out of stock and like when it goes in stock, it sells out in like 5 minutes. You could set up a bot to always ping to the site like you would. It's like it's kind of like a normal person just trying to check out like every 2 minutes, right? They're just trying to check out, and that's what your bot would do. Um I don't do that anymore. Honestly, I think it's kind of a waste of time. You can make really good money at it, but there's just too many good products out there where you can just stack coupon codes and make similar margins. Like it's just like from a time perspective, like it's better to just stack coupon codes, use gift cards, all that stuff, and just check out manually. Like it just it's better to just do that. That's why I'm doing Amazon now. That's
Yeah.
out of all the things I've done to make money online, Amazon FBA has been like the best thing and ever. Especially for the time. Like you can literally make like $300 an hour if you know what you're doing right with Amazon. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
it kind of gets to a point where you're just like, all right, I don't have any money anymore. Like, we have so many good products
Yeah.
to buy.
Yeah,
But,
exactly. Like yeah, exactly.
and like the quicker that you can get to that point, the better. And I'm curious your thoughts on this, Cody. But one of the biggest tips that I feel like I try to give to people, and it seems like people don't really listen or take it seriously, is to build a replenishable list and like really put your heart and soul into like making a really solid leads list for yourself. I feel like the faster you do that, like the faster you're going to get to that point where you're like, all right, I have $1,000 and there's like 4 different ways I can spend this. And you have those options and you purchase the best stuff instead of purchasing the stuff where you're like, oh, maybe I'll make 40% ROI, but like it's really on a spike and you're going to end up losing money on that item because you were desperate. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts?
Yeah, like to put it simply, like I think a lot of people like they're in this perpetual loop of like you're sourcing, you're selling, you're sourcing, and you're selling. Like you keep on trying to find new and new products when like you just buy the products in the past that you've sold in the past. I know not everything can be replenished, but like you'll find items how do I put like so when I went from 20K a month to 40K a month, right? I was still selling all of the stuff from 20K a month. And to get to 40K a month, I literally just kept selling all the 20K stuff and then just added more products. There's this dude is named Wi-Fi Astronaut, Danny, and
Yeah.
he's like have more listings on Amazon and you'll sell more stuff. And I know that's not the best like statement in the world, but it's like you just have more listings, like more products available for sale and more listings, and like you're gonna sell more stuff. So it's like you get your old catalog, you add a little bit more to it, and you just keep on growing it every time. That's really that's the way.
And even just today, I was just kicking myself a little bit. There was a product that Cody reminded me about earlier today, and I was looking at my replenishable sheet, and apparently I had sent one in like late July or something, and I had sold out, but I had it book kept as if I was still in stock, and I was just like kicking myself, like, dude, why? Like I messed it up, and because of that, I didn't make another $90 last month.
Yeah, yeah, that was like a like you look in the data and the offers tab on Keepa, and it's like that was an easy $90 flip.
Yeah, yeah,
I
definitely.
was gated, but I'll get ungated soon.
Yeah, yeah, you could
um,
get ungated in that for sure.
yeah.
There's like multiple ways to do it. But yeah, yeah, gating is. I feel like we also used to think gating was like. That's the interesting thing. Going back to your other point about selling shoe brands that less people are thinking about, because I feel like, at least in my head, the shoe sellers that I know, they all know how to get ungated in shoe brands from East Bay, but that's their extent of knowledge on how to get ungated in brands. And so, like,
Exactly. Yeah, there's so many other
if the shoe
sites.
brand isn't on East Bay for some reason, like nobody's ungated in it, and so everyone's just like Nike, Adidas,
Yeah,
yay! Like that's all they do.
yeah, I'm trying to like really. not stop selling Nike, like Nike pays the bills. Like Nike Nike does
You call it
everything
Nike?
that I need. What was that?
You call it Nike?
Nike, it's the same. Somebody on my YouTube, they're like, it's not called Nike. It's like, whatever.
Whatever, man. I don't care. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, exact. I
I'm just
literally
making. I'm giving you a
responded.
hard time for it.
I
Yeah.
I I responded to them, bruh. It's I mean, it's whatever you want to call it, but like Nike's amazing, but the thing is like there's so much like there's Converse shoes that I sell like like I have like a certain model of Converse. I sell like 5 to 7 of them a month, and I double my money on every sale. Like I'll spend 35 and then I'll literally make $35 profit on that shoe, and everybody's sleeping on these other brands. They want to go make their $5 profit buying from Nike.com and then send it to Amazon, get mad when the price tanks. It's like, you want to know how to buy something that doesn't tank? You go after the stuff that other people aren't going after. That's how you go after stuff that doesn't tank. Like,
Yeah, and um, sorry, I don't remember what I was going to say, but basically,
you're all
it's
good.
you just have to like. That's why networking and like being in communication with other sellers is so valuable, because like you're gonna be able to understand how to gate other brands easier. You're just gonna understand those things a little bit better. But like you can get ungated in other brands by just going to other websites that give an invoice. Like it just has to be a site that gives an invoice that has 10 quantity of something. It doesn't have to be Eastbay. It can be lots of other sites. There's a lot of other sites that you can do that with, but um, yeah, I mean, there's a lot that you can learn about Amazon. You just keep learning it all the
Yeah.
time. It's exciting. How did you even get started with reselling, Cody?
So in 2017, so I've technically been an Amazon seller for like a while, but like in 2017 I was doing books, and it was like I live in Florida. There's a ton of resellers here. I'm not saying like, oh man, it's too saturated here or anything like that. I made some money flipping books in 2017 to like 2018, and then like I just didn't like it. like I, like it's not like it's not what I wanted to do. And OA is definitely, it's taken me a while to figure out what exactly I want to do. Um, but making money from your computer at home is definitely it. Like, uh, like I liked selling books like in 2017 and like part of 2018. But it's so time consuming. I was like, I'd rather just like work like any other job. Um, but that's was my experience. And then from there, I was flipping a lot of items. I transitioned from that to flipping a lot of items from like Ross and thrift stores onto eBay. So it was more of like an eBay seller from like 2018 to 2019. And then
Why
uh,
didn't you sell those items on Amazon? Were you just gated in most of the stuff?
so yeah, that's the big thing is like I didn't know, like back at that time, like nobody knew how to get ungated in anything.
Yeah.
Like it was all super gate kept, and I was like I had like no money, so I didn't have like money to spend on the $500 like ungating guides and stuff like that. Um So basically from there, I would just flip stuff onto eBay from like garage sales, thrift stores, things like that. I got into drop shipping. I made a good bit of money doing that. I still have a virtual assistant that manages that whole business for me, but I don't. And I was drop shipping on platforms like Facebook, OfferUp, and Macari. A little bit different than what other people do. When they think of drop shipping, they think of like selling stuff on Shopify, things like that. Um, I wasn't doing that. I mainly was selling on Facebook, OfferUp, and Macari. And
So
I
your
still run that
offer,
business, but I have a VA doing all of that for me, and I'm really just focused on Amazon right now.
so your offers for drop shipping, like to sell, were on Facebook, OfferUp, and Macari.
Yeah, so like I was selling items on all three of those platforms, and I mean, that was pretty much the business. I was listing items from like eBay onto Facebook, OfferUp, and Macari, and that made a not insane money, but I mean, it was it gave me a good chunk of money to start something else that's more long-term sustainable, um, and something that makes me a lot more money per hour, which is Amazon.
Mhm.
That's how I see it, at least. Like with drop shipping, it's like the way that I was doing it, it's like a sub like 15, it's like a $15 an hour slash like sub $15 an hour job. And then like this, like you can literally make like 300 bucks an hour, like you if you find the right products.
Yeah, and I'm curious with I don't know a ton about drop shipping, so you would think that eBay the prices would be higher than Facebook Marketplace and Mercari. Was it just the like finding certain products that were like slightly higher after fees and all that, basically, and the sell through rate being pretty slow, but having a lot of listings, and so it made sense.
Yeah, so that's the thing is what running that business really taught me is like most things, like if you do it enough, like you're gonna make money at it. So in that business, I have over 15,000 listings.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So really,
So
really spread very wide, very
yeah,
wide.
so it's like you're not making much per, but you have so many listings, and everything that I was listing was at a significant markup that I'd make money. Um, you do something enough, like it just works. Like I put in so many reps with that business that that it made money, even though it's not like if you look at it from like a value proposition kind of standpoint, like it theoretically like shouldn't really work. You get what I mean? Like you're just getting items and then you're marking up a significant amount and then you're making money off of it. I mean, I guess that's kind of what we do, but it was it's different. It's very it's very interesting, but like that's kind of what I learned from that is like sometimes people like they stop, like I could have stopped at like 500 listings and be like this doesn't work, but I literally made a full-time income just off of listing stuff from eBay to like Facebook, and that like that's basically how I got my seed money to start doing Amazon, which I see as more of a long-term sustainable business because anything could happen with that. I could get banned on Facebook, I could get banned on any of the other platforms for dropshipping. Mercari doesn't allow people to dropship. It's
Hmm.
against their terms of service. Like it's not a good thing to do.
It's just harder from a product quality perspective. But we got Jeff in the house. Good
Yo,
guest
what's up,
today.
Jeff?
Love Jeff. If you guys don't know Jeff, he interviews a lot of people who do different money making methods, reselling, just a bunch of different stuff on there. So it's always fun to listen to his podcasts. Yeah, I go on Facebook sometimes. Sometimes I try to source from there and I see like all the items that I'm looking for, but like marked up really high, and it's always like a stock photo. And I'm just like, all right, these
Yep.
people are weird.
Th-
Those are the drop shippers.
yep, those are definitely the drop shippers.
And like someone once in a blue moon comes along and buys it. Um, One thing that I've thought of doing, if I was a terrible person, this is probably what I would do. All right.
Oh gosh.
So I would list stuff on Facebook Marketplace or Mercari or something. Oh, there's two strategies you could do if you're a person. So you basically list stuff on Facebook Marketplace or Mercari, like really high in demand items at like a pretty good price so that people purchase them. You don't ship the item. And Mercari, they might actually rate your purchase and
Oh
the person
no.
can't do anything.
I
Uh,
I
so I
I
would
had
never do
a
it. It's awful. But like I purchased something on Mercari the other day and it rated my purchase. And it was like this sweater that was like to my belly button. I'm just like, well, I guess I'm selling this on eBay then because I can't return this.
jeez, yeah.
But yeah, guys, don't do that. But
Yeah,
there's
that I do
shipper.
not advocate
Do
that.
not advocate
That's
for that. That's awful. Don't do that.
yeah, that's not
That's
ethical.
that's not ethical at all, and you will burn in hell. But if you need the money that bad, I guess uh, that's a way you can steal from
Let me
people.
see.
Don't do it though. Addis K says, Yeah, I didn't understand drop shipping just because I didn't get how you could sell things from other sites, not knowing whether or not they'd be in stock when your customer's order is placed. So you probably
Got it.
just purchase stuff that like generally it's in stock or generally it's at this price max or whatever, and you can almost always purchase it whenever there's an order.
So the answer is it depends. So this is a method that like a lot of like I've literally heard nobody on YouTube talk about this before, but you'd be surprised like I have no monitoring or anything for all of my products that I have for the dropshipping business. Um if I have an item and it's out of stock, what I'll do is I'll message the customer and I'll be like, "Hey, this I'm sorry, we went to go and pack this order and we realized that we just ran out of stock on this item. Could you please cancel your order?" And then I specifically send them a screenshot of the step-by-step things that they have to do to cancel their order. In 95% of the time, they just cancel. And
Hmm.
then your metrics aren't messed up, and you can sell products without having to monitor them. My cancellation rate was like 1.2%, which is still better than like some people that like don't even drop ship. Their
Yeah,
cancellation
mine,
rates.
mine was around that when I sold on eBay. I would just lose stuff.
Yeah, so it's really like most people they'll read that and be like, "Oh, I understand you I bet this guy like people are just understanding. They're like, "Okay, like I'll cancel
Yeah.
it." And the thing is that method works I'm not saying to do this. I'm not I want to preface this. I'm not saying to do this, but say like you have a merchant fulfill order on Amazon, like you're not drop shipping on Amazon. I want to put that very clear. Do not drop ship on Amazon. But if you
De-risk.
have a merchant fulfill order and like you can't find it in your house and you have to ship it out to a customer and you messed up for whatever reason, if you cancel your order on Amazon, it really hurts your seller metrics. So what you should do is reach out to the customer and be like, "Hey, so and so happened. Can you please cancel your order?" And I've had things go missing, and then people just cancel on, like they'll cancel their order on Amazon, and then your seller metrics don't get hit. So all these like little things that I've learned, like they really help out.
We got Tara saying same thing happened to me via Facebook. You purchased something that didn't ship. Yeah,
No.
I've tried to purchase things from Facebook Marketplace to just sell on Amazon, and sometimes they just don't send the order, and you're like, dude,
Uh,
I paid. But you hopefully you can get your money back. I'm sorry if you
yeah, I'm
lost
sorry if
it.
that ever happened to you. I always refund people like when I sell stuff on Facebook. Um, just because that's like the moral thing to do. Like if they didn't get their order. Sometimes people would just say like they didn't get their order, but like they totally did kind of thing. Like I've seen like picture confirmation of like it at their doorstep. So I mean it just depends. Like it's a he said, she said kind of thing sometimes, but like if you order like I'm just saying like if you order something off of Facebook though, usually like if you contact Facebook, you'll get your money back. Like I've seen Facebook really favor the buyers like a lot.
Yeah, and it's
Um,
probably a good thing long term.
yeah, like I mean, I would hate to order an item and then somebody doesn't give it to me. Like I'd be pretty
Right.
pretty mad.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Um, but yeah, just think I have like a million eBay to Amazon questions.
Oh,
Um,
sure. What's
just
up?
uh, like I don't know. There's just like certain so like you so do you like actually save people's storefronts? Is that a thing that you like for eBay? Like
That's a good way to do it. I don't do it that way necessarily. Josiah does that a lot more than I do.
okay.
But yeah, I don't do that very much. I might start doing that for certain things, but most of what I do is I have a replenishable sheet. I have the links to all the items basically saved in my replenishable sheet, so I can just click it and it eBay searches it, and I just check that a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes I'll also have my virtual assistant looking for stuff because she's starting to purchase stuff, which is really cool.
That's
Um,
awesome.
so just save some time there.
Do you have like a card that has like a spending limit on it for her or
Yeah, so on eBay, since we're doing all our purchases on eBay, it's less complicated because like if she was purchasing from Hibbett, Nike, Walmart, Target, she would have to enter the card information everywhere. But eBay, it's just saved, and all she has to do is select the card. She just clicks the card, and she doesn't have to enter the CVC. She just has to click the card and then spend. So technically, she could like create a listing for like $4,000 and purchase it and scam me that way, but she hasn't done that. She's had access to my eBay and to that for like 6 months now. So
Yeah.
So
I know people are kind of skeptical about like virtual assistants sometimes, and like I don't even know how they would scam you. Like if you're buying the product, like it's not going to be able to get to them. Or I don't think so, at least. I mean, maybe if it goes through like international shipping. I'm really like I don't know. I'm just thinking like how would they even scam you?
Well, the thing is like, first of all, how would they scam you? Number two, most people are generally good enough people that they don't want to actually scam someone in order to make money.
Yeah.
Like most people are not like that. And then number three, if worst comes to worst, I think a lot of these credit card companies will cancel orders if it was like a scam order, especially if it like shows from the Philippines or something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
so the chances of it are really small, and I think the reward is higher than the risk. So that's why I do it.
Yeah,
I mean, like I talked to my virtual assistant, like, how was your weekend? And she's like, yeah, like we went to church and had Sunday school and we spent time with my family. Like she's not really I mean, maybe she's the type of person who's like, yeah, I go to church and then I scam rich Americans
yeah.
on Sunday evening. But I don't think so.
Yeah, everybody that I've met so far from like the Philippines is like they're so nice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure everyone isn't nice, but I mean,
Yeah, there's always yeah. I've had a great experience with it so far. So when they log in to they just log in from where they're at to your like eBay account, or do they go through like a VPN or something like that?
Yeah, I have Roseanne log in through a VPN.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That
but
makes
she logs into my eBay because they have stupid bad user permission. So she just logs into the eBay account.
That's awesome, yeah. Yeah, I've been so excited going through Flipmine. Oh, one of the best so I like the past 2 days I've spent about like 12 hours using Flipmine of the software.
That's more than me.
And well, I'm really trying to learn as many methods as possible, so it's like I'm not just relying on like certain shoe sites or relying on like certain sales. Like I want to be at like like a as adept as possible, pretty much, like as like I want to be able to do it, like not just try to do like everything, but like get really good at certain methods. Like I'm really good at sourcing shoes, and now I want to get really good at eBay to Amazon, pretty much. But yeah, so when you're buying products, do you look at the ones that are like newly listed a lot? That's what I've like really found that works for me. um do, do, do you do that?
Yeah, definitely. For me, and I'll just keep referencing Josiah a lot because him and I talk about this a lot, and he does eBay to Amazon as well. He goes after less competitive things than me. And so for him, it's like he can let something sit and like it'll be up for a week and he still comes in and purchases it. Like he just goes for stuff that's more in like the mid range of sales rank and stuff. For me, a lot of the stuff that I purchase is going to be listed within like a day of when it was listed. So like looking at those newly listed items is big deal. Yeah. Like I have my eBay links set so that they're filtered to newly listed instead of just lowest.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because it's kind of like going to a thrift store or a library sale. Like if you know that they change the books over like on Wednesday morning, like you kind of want to get there Wednesday at noon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's was like I was like 4 or 5 hours in, and then I was like, you know, the best way to do this would probably be just looking at all the new stuff, and then that's where when I found all of the really good stuff. I was like, oh, okay, this is how that works. Um,
Through Flipmine or through just searching stuff.
I did it through Flipmine, but like a lot of so like I'd find something good on Flipmine, and then I go to eBay, and then just type in that model and
Yeah.
see if there was like others.
Yeah.
And then like there was one product, like I think it was like a voice recorder or something. I bought like two of. I was like, oh, but it like the software didn't even pick it up. Just like random
Mhm.
stuff like that. Do you
Yeah.
ever
And,
was that?
go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say like, do you ever buy from like Macari and OfferUp?
Oh, you definitely could, and I have bought from Macari. Um, yeah, there's definitely opportunity to do that. There's just more stuff on eBay, so I kind of just focus.
Yeah.
Like so many times I'll go and I'll search Macari and there's like nothing listed, and I'm just like, well, cool, I just wasted 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely opportunities though. Especially if it's like a really hot item, people might be searching for it on eBay and then it's for sale on Macari. Um, it's possible.
Yeah, I like right now I have a spreadsheet and I just built it out like the winners for eBay, and then I'll have like a link to Macari OfferUp. I should probably have a Facebook link too, but I think it would be a little weird because like I know they have they have the shipping option now, but then it mainly just shows your local market. So it's just confusing. So I just had link to eBay, Macari and OfferUp. So like
You
when I
could
when I
make
go
your
back I just go to those.
you can make your Facebook link like toggled to shipping, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could. You could filter it. I haven't tried that yet. I just kind of wanted to like I mainly just want to get the eBay to Amazon side down, and then we'll innovate.
Yeah, and it's another great way, like to the people who are still watching 47 minutes in, to build your replenishable list is to just use Flipmine, and then when you find a profitable lead, just enter that profitable lead into your replenishable list, and then keep looking for that item in the future, and after you sell it. Even if it's not profitable on the listing that you found it in, you could search for it 2 days later and it could be $30 less. Definitely can make some good money doing that.
Yeah, that is a smart method. So like you actively use Flipmine, right? It's not just kind of like a one-off deal, or do you use like I guess like do you use any other software?
Yeah, so like actually for me, um, I prefer building my replenishable list, just doing it manually or storefront stocking. I don't
Okay.
really I don't even use Flipmine very much. I have used it. Kind of at this point, earlier this year, I was selling between 60 and 100K a month doing eBay to Amazon. So the replenishable sheet is pretty big. And so I'm kind of like trying to stay in stock on the stuff that I have, and like the thing is, I'm trying to like filter down, like, okay, like where should I be putting my money? Like, do I want to put my money into this item that like looks really good ROI wise, but like I get returns out of like crazy returns on it, or like do I want to put it into this item? Kind of just
Yeah.
making a lot of those choices right now, because
Yeah, that's
sometimes the return on used items is really, really, really high.
yeah, I've sold some printers in the past and it's like it got returned twice. It's like $130 printer. I'm like really? You know, like it worked. Um, but yeah, I definitely experienced a little bit of that.
Yeah. So most of your business is shoes, right?
Yeah, so most of my business, shoes, apparel, I've sold a little bit of everything, like Legos. I've sold camera equipment before. I
Mm.
really like I sell like a lot of the really like my bread and butter is going after a lot of like these shoe listings that other people aren't selling. Like even if it sells one time a month, I'll like say I could hop on the listing and sell it one time a month. I'm fine with that because I'll just buy, that one pair in that one size, and then that SKU would be like my replenishable, right? I'm making say the shoe's $200 and I make $50 profit every time I sell the shoe. I just go back and buy that, even if it doesn't sell that much. Like a lot of the listings that I really like, like if you looked at it, you'd be like, this like doesn't sell. Um, that's kind of the stuff that I like because nobody else is going after, and it's like it's also easier to get because other people just don't want to touch it.
So you're
Like
probably talking
yeah,
about the variations that are like not the top 10 percentage variations.
yes,
Okay.
like I prefer the listings where it's like this one-off listing that has like 4 reviews and like only like 3 different sizes because other people just don't go after those, and I'm like, oh, okay, like we can just hop on this and like just start making some money month over month. And it's like a slow grind, but like I don't have like these big swings of, oh man, I bought 15K worth of stocks on whatever site and now I'm going to sell like my sales look good, but my profit doesn't.
Yeah.
Like I'm in this to make actual money, you know? Um and like I know people make good money off of doing stuff like that, but it's like I like kind of the slower moving shoes that are on these like one-off listings that you like when you sell it, you make it's like hand over fist, you make $50, you make $40. Right now my ASP is 133. So I sell a lot of really higher end stuff.
Hey,
That's
high
mainly shoes.
ASP gang.
Yeah, high ASP gang. It's nothing to like. I feel like having a high ASP is like,
It's a double-edged sword.
yeah. That's the thing is like it when you're purchasing things that are that expensive too. Uh, you gotta not mess up. You gotta know how to read Keepa. Like you can't just be like, oh, I just want to sell like high end stuff. Like if you don't know how, like if you don't know what date, like on Keepa where it says data and then offers, and you try not to sell high end stuff, like you're gonna run out of money fast. Um,
Yeah.
do you? Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
honestly, I don't even really use the offers tab.
really? I
Yeah,
love the offers
what
tab.
do you use it for? What's the point?
Everything. The offers tab is everything to me. Not like everything, but like I love the offers tab because you can see like, oh, this person sold this shoe. Like you can like there's a if you include historical offers on the offers tab, you can see, okay, this person sold 4 of these for this price. So then that kind
Oh,
of gives you a gauge like, okay, I can come in at this price and then sell it. And then you can also see like, say there's nobody on the listing right now, you can see in the past what somebody sold it for and at what price, so you know like kind of where to hop on at, or like yeah, like you get a better gauge of the listing. Like you're not like I go on a listing, I'm like, okay, I know I can sell like say 3 units every 30 days or whatever. Like there's no guesswork in like anything now. Before I was like in the dark, like I'm just gonna buy this and it might sell, might not. But like now, I'm like, okay, buy 2 units, and then it's usually on point with what I
hmm.
like. I'm kind of getting to the point. Like I watched some clip where I think it was his name was Jake. He's like another seller, right? He's
Jake
like, yeah,
Target.
I just don't do like test buys anymore, and I kind of vibe with that. Like once you know how to read the data enough, it's just kind of like, okay, I know if I buy 2 units, they'll sell out in 30 days, and then you just keep on doing that.
Apparently, Tara says the offers tab is my go-to as well.
Yes.
Yeah, what I
Thank
do
you,
is
Tara.
I feel like I can see just by looking at the graph, like, oh, this person went out of stock at $180 and they sold out. And there's no longer used a very good on this listing because they sold out. And so I can usually see like, okay, this person sold out there. I guess that doesn't talk about the quantity, but the way that I do quantity is I'll like see what the average rank is, do the whole jungle scout or seller amp thing, and then divide that by the competitive sellers on listing, and I get a pretty good guesstimate of how many I can send in.
Like, how on point is that method? Because I've tried the Jungle Scout estimator, and it's always completely off. But maybe that's because I deal with, like, I could see with eBay to Amazon, it's usually individual listings, while for like shoes, it's variation listings. So like, the sales rank on Keepa for variation listings is completely off.
Yeah,
Like
that's a good
most
point.
of the time.
Yeah.
A lot of nitty gritty here, but
no, it's great stuff. I think actually if I were to jump on and use the offers tab, that would be helpful, because it would be helpful to know, like, okay, this person, they didn't just sell out at 180. Like I can see like, oh, they sold 4 at 180 with the offers tab. So I think that would be really helpful information.
Yeah.
Even if it's not a big variation listing. So yeah, I think that would be helpful.
Yeah. And like, if you guys use, if anybody in the chat, if you guys use the offer tab, make sure to include historical offers, because like, if you just hit offers, it will say like, oh, 30 have sold in the last 30 days or whatever on the bottom. But if you include historical offers, that number sold in the last 30 days usually jumps up a lot. So it's like, you have to include it, because that includes all of the people that were on the listing prior. So like, you need all the data. Like, you need it all.
Gotta love the data. The data is the best.
The data is goated.
Yes, man.
Love the data. Yeah, but trying to think. Yeah, like, how many variations listings do you sell on? Like, do you?
I'm trying to even think. Maybe I don't even know. It's not a majority of them, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff is just like, it's just the product and it's a discontinued product, and so there's not all these variations for it. In a way, it's almost a variation listing, because if you're selling used, sometimes there's major price discrepancies between the conditions.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
good or used acceptable is one price, and then a very good is a higher price, and then a like new is like almost as high as the new. Like, there's one listing, for example, the used good is like $40, and the new is like $350. But then the like new is $160. So people on eBay will list it and they're like, all right, I need to sell this for $40. But they sell it and it's 160 on Amazon. So like, there are sometimes weird opportunities like that, just because it's like, it's a like new listing or it's a very good listing. It's a weird variation type thing.
So like, say like a very good was like $100, but a good was like 40. Would you just be like, mine's very good? Like,
sometimes.
I guess it just depends, but it's like, I could totally
kind of
see
subjective.
Like, yeah, that's the thing too. It's like what's really the difference between a good and a very good?
Yeah, if you do too much of that, though, your returns, your customers will hate you, and you just end up having a bad cash flow, because you spend another like 40 days getting your money back in order to just sell it again.
Yeah,
so, like, that wasn't worth it.
Yeah, I totally, like, when I was selling books, I would always like I would always over deliver, and like what is it, under promise over deliver kind of thing. Like basically, like, if I had a book that was actually like a like new or like a very good, I'd probably put it as like a good, just to, because those people that like leave, like, I don't know what it is, but like the people that buy books on Amazon, they always leave feedback. Like, I had like 14 feedback just from like, I didn't even sell that many books. Like, I probably sold like 20K worth of books or something like that. And it's like, I got like 14 reviews. I was just really surprised.
Yeah. I definitely didn't get that many, but when I sold books primarily, I was doing the same thing. I think one time I got a feedback and they were like mad because there was writing in the book. And I told my lister, like, all right, we need to like look through all the books and like list it as used acceptable most of the time and then use good sometimes. I was very, very careful at that point. These days I'm like, all right, very good, like new, new. I just like polybag it when it's new. It's
Oh
just
wow.
I'm much riskier at this point because I'm like, all right, well, I sell new items without receipts from eBay.
Like, might as well go. Yeah, I guess that's the
Why
other
not
thing
sell
is
these
like,
books as new as long as they like have no markings or page creases or anything?
yeah.
Well,
So
we'll see if that bites me in the butt, but
yeah, I'm kind of curious. So like, for me, I feel like shoes is a kind of a risky category. So like, for doing eBay to Amazon, I'm only gonna do used. Like, I'm not gonna do new right now because it's just I feel like it's just way too much risk. But like, how has it been just selling new items from eBay to Amazon? Like, do you get a lot of complaints or?
the it's you would think that used items are less of a risk. But in my experience, actually, like I talked to Josiah a lot. I
Okay.
talked to Steve Rakin a lot, and they also do a lot of eBay to Amazon. And they sell mostly new items. I sell mostly used items, and I have more account health issues than they do. like,
What?
like I actually, you can still get IP complaints. You can still get counterfeit claims with used items. It's actually not really that much less risky, in my opinion. Like you're still technically supposed to have, I mean, technically with all these things, you're supposed to have permission from the brand, a letter of authorization to sell, like
Yeah,
a
that's just kind of out
handwritten.
the window.
Nobody has that. Nobody anywhere has that besides wholesalers, which is, I mean, that's what Amazon wants, I think. Um, and so, in my experience, the less risky items are the items that customers aren't gonna return, um, because they're just happy with the product. They're not submitting anything against you, and you just look at the Keepa and the listing to make sure that the brand's not selling it and that there's not like major down spikes. Um, New or used, that's the way to mitigate risk. Like you got to make sure that you're looking and making sure the brand's not on the listing, or there's a pattern of people not getting kicked off the listing. I think that's the best way to mitigate risk. It's not a new or used thing, I don't think.
Yeah, I guess just kind of like on the last thing for like IP. Oh, let me see what this.
Well, just what about when you're sourcing from eBay and the condition is worse than stated? Does that happen to you a lot? So one reason that my return rate is so freaking bad is because I send all my stuff to a prep center. I look at the pictures and I say this is used good, and I don't end up returning many items. I don't inspect everything. They don't inspect everything, and so there are a percentage of items that just like aren't the best. And so if you want to have good quality control, doing your own prep or having an employee do your own prep is probably going to be the way to go. Or purchasing stuff that like there's not issues with it. Like if you're doing big HP printers, like you're probably going to have a lot of returns, a lot of broken items, a lot of customers saying it doesn't work because everyone has printer trauma. But if you sell like a calculator that just works all the time, or like a sealed vitamin or something like that, like nobody's returning that. What are your thoughts, Cody?
Yeah, so I mean, I would just think it depends. I think it's crazy. Like, so you don't test anything.
Nothing.
Not- that's insane to me because it's like what if you buy a recorder that you spend $50 on and it doesn't work and you get it like goes through that whole cycle of like it goes to the prep center, then it goes to Amazon, and then like it's a lot of trust to put in like these like random people's hands on eBay saying, "Oh yeah, I tested this."
Yeah. Yeah. That's been one of the struggles for me because I do have a big cost every month of inventory that I end up getting back in removal orders, like several $100s a month probably, that like I'm just gonna have to donate or I have to liquidate on eBay. Like it's like it is expensive, but it's also
Jeez, okay.
expensive testing all your items. So like There's
Yeah, and then the time.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
I could imagine. It's like one thing, just like a little bit of value I can add for like anybody that's wants to start getting into shoes. A lot of people complain about the return rate, but from what I've seen, it's only like certain models, say like certain models just get returned a ton, and then other models just like rarely get returned. So it just really depends. Like, um, if sometimes the Amazon pictures are a little deceiving. So I just kind of wanted to like anybody that's stuck this far, let you know that like I know some shoes get a lot of returns, but you just need to sell the ones that don't get as many returns, or like the ones that do get returned a lot. Make sure there's a good, healthy margin. Another thing that I do to combat that too is I merchant fulfill a lot of my shoes, and when you do that, you can charge restocking fees when people return the shoe because you'll just have it in your seller bio saying, "I charge a 10% restocking fee on every shoe that gets returned." So then that will basically mitigate all of the cost of the label there and the label back because that's just put on the person that buys it. And I haven't got bad feedback for that yet at all. Like it's been great. So basically I lose like when I MF shoes, I lose like no money when people return. Sometimes I've even made money off of people returning shoes. So that's kind of like I know it's kind of funny to think about, but I mean, it's working, so I'm just gonna keep on doing it. uh,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. You just have a 90% return fee.
I've seen
That would be awful, but
I have a buddy and he's like, "Oh, the box came back like smashed. All right, 90% restocking fee." I'm like, "Dude." And he always gets like when the people complain, he always gets it removed and it's like like imagine you sold a shoe for $200 and it came back like the box is smashed but like the shoes are completely fine. Then you charge the customer like 180 dollars. That's just I feel like that's just way too much.
oh, that's a
I
lot.
like I like to just charge like a little bit. I feel like most people don't even notice, like especially like you can imagine like the target audience, like they're already buying like $200 shoes. Like they're not really gonna care too much about $20.
Yeah. And like it's something that you can do. I personally don't merch fulfill it hardly at all. But that's definitely a good strategy if you're going to do merch fulfilled. Like, why not get some money back when people return stuff? Sounds like free money to me.
Yeah, exactly. I love the MF game and like the cash flow. Like everything I've done so far is my own money. I'm trying to experiment with starting to leverage capital because I know that's the next way to really get to those 100K months that I'm looking for. Do you like leverage like Amazon loans or things like that, like a credit card or like do you carry a balance?
Yeah, I at the beginning of this year, I was leveraging a lot. I did like a 10K 0% APR card. I did a couple credit cards, kind of like cycling those limits. I did an Amazon loan. I also did payability at the same time, which I would highly not suggest. It's so expensive. Just have a little patience. Don't do it. Um, but yeah, I definitely leveraged a lot. I was also using the Plum as well. Um, and I think I was reinvesting my profits back into the business as well. So for me, come around the summer, I was like, all right, like I'd love to like be net worth positive again. So I
Yeah.
I kind of stopped using credit. Now I'm just rolling with the money that I have in the business and kind of adjusting to that because I was kind of used to like I have a 15K a week spend limit that I'm trying to hit, and now I'm like, all right, well now I'm spending what I get back in my payout, and it's a lot different than just having a credit line, you know.
Yeah.
So there's trade off there. I think it kind of just comes down to what your risk tolerance and like what do you have to lose, like what's the reward, just a lot of different balancing considerations there. For me at this point, I'm just wanting to roll the money that I have and keep reinvesting in that.
That's awesome. So do you think like overall the credit like helped you scale up?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's
Yeah.
a good move for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think I'm at the point where it's like I know I can be hitting like I know how to read the data, a lot bigger numbers. I think really my next thing is just leveraging like a ton of credit because everything that I buy, not to say like everything just works out for me, but um, I mean most of the stuff I buy like it just works out like hand over fist. Like I've been able to grow month over month, and it's not like this month is slightly down, but that's because I've sent a lot of. I'm trying to transition. Most of my stuff is MF. Like this entire month, I did like 35K, all MF.
Why no
Like,
FBA?
it's because I've been sending it. Basically, like I've been sending stuff to my prep center, but I wasn't like, I basically wasn't making like shipments right, so my items weren't getting out. So like before, I would prep FBA myself and ship out. Um, but I'm trying to transition to like a I have the prep center, they do all of my FBA, and then I have MF for more of those items that I want to have control over and items that I want to like MFS. Like I bought like 2 weeks ago, there was an opportunity and I bought an item. I bought 40 of it. I MF'd all of it and sold all of it in 2 days. Like like the MF opportunities, and it was like hand over fist. Like I spent like $300 and I made $300 profit. So at the end we were at like $600. So it's like some of these MF opportunities, it's like I don't have like a like other job. Like this is all I do. So it's like just being able to capitalize on the MF opportunities and getting that capital back is just it's too good to pass up in my opinion. Like especially if you're trying to scale like if you don't have money, like like MFing is the way.
So for you, when you find those MF opportunities, are you just like looking at a listing and you're like, all right, the merch fulfill is getting the buy box. This will actually get sales merch fulfilled.
Like it just depends. Like some items, like say like the offer count's going like down a lot. Usually like it just depends. Like a lot of the listings that I like selling on, they don't have too many other sellers. So if you're an MF offer, chances are you're probably gonna sell. Like even if there's not another MF offer, just because there's not too many other people selling the same thing. Like imagine a customer is trying to buy from a listing. There's literally two choices. And like you're probably gonna win the buy box.
Yeah.
Does that kind of answer your question? Like,
So it's just you kind of do that on low competition listings that like have a decent sales rank, or even high ranked listings that just have low competition.
yeah, I mean, look, like,
Exactly.
look, yeah, like low competition, you could MF and like get the buy box a good bit. But the thing is, you can also go on high competition items. But there's so much demand. Like imagine something, like I know a bunch of people in the community, they made a bag off of like selling backpacks. Like that's an opportunity where like the demand, like I saw on one listing, there was like a Nike backpack. It sold like 1,500 times in 30 days, and there was only 40 sellers. So you can kind of see like
Mhm.
the demand so insanely high that if you're an MF offer, you're gonna get a lot of sales. Like whether you're prime or not prime, because the demand is just insane.
So
Um,
basically, those listings where it seems like the ratio between the supply and demand is just like there's just a ton of demand on this listing.
yes.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, like if there's yeah, I mean that's one way to do it. Like if there's such an insane demand, chances are you're going to be able to sell at MF. Because you could imagine the pool of sellers is so low, and like on some items, like I've seen items where like an item will hit like a really big sale, but the demand's so high on the listing that like the price never drops, and that's
Mm.
because so many sellers are selling out so quickly. You kind of was that I know it's a lot, but um
Yeah. Yeah, it makes total sense. Just my mind doesn't hasn't really wrapped around merch fulfill because I've done so little of it, but
Yeah.
it probably would be a really good opportunity to think of like, all right, what's 1, 2, or 3 items that I could probably sell 10 plus a month that I could just continuously merch fulfill. There's probably some opportunities out there. I'm just not really thinking of it or trying it. Especially, I feel like for me, if I'm going to merch fulfill, like it needs to not be like 200 different items. And I'm like, all right, I need to ship this printer. Okay. I need to ship this like different item, and just like freaking out because it's like always a different label or shipping setting. Like I need to just like dial in a shipping setting, and like, I mean, that's, I can't have everything, but
yeah.
you need to just stick to like first class items or something like that for a little bit.
Yeah, that's the thing is like you like if you're gonna MF stuff, it's really hard to be prepared. Unless like you're just doing one thing. So like over 90% of what I MF is just shoes. So it's literally like two different boxes. Like it's like I have like two different boxes for everything. Um like there's like a 16 by 10 by 6 and like a 14 by 10 by 6 for like all the shoes, and that's what I use for all my shoes. Um and then like for everything else I just have like 9 by 9 by 9s and like huge, there's like these huge poly bags, and I know it's not as cost effective, but I like uh it's like the ones with the outside. Maybe I could grab it. Let me see. It's like the ones with the outside shoe. You could literally just like stick a book in there and then close it. Um I like to get the really big size of those, because if you have too small, like you don't want to have an item that's like really big but won't fit in there.
Yeah, that's a pain. Yeah.
So like say like backpacks, you would literally just put it in the big you know what I mean? It's I try to have like a one size kind of fits all method. It's also nice having the shoe boxes, because even if it's a smaller item, I could just like really pack it so there's not much room, and then just fit it in that box. Like if you like, you might get a little mess, like you might have to pay $1 or 2 more on shipping because it's bigger. But the concept is like you just have something big enough to fit the thing, so you don't have to have all of those smaller packages.
Hmm. And so do you purchase shipping through Amazon, or do you use like Pirate Ship or?
I always purchase through Amazon because a lot of the stuff that I sell is really expensive. And if you
Okay.
don't purchase through Amazon, like if somebody files a claim, they're gonna win it. And
Hmm.
like I haven't purchased shipping off of Amazon, but from what I've seen from other people, like I've seen like in the community, like somebody say they sell a $200 shoe, and then it's really common, especially if it's like more of like a hype, like kind of luxury shoe, right? That the person's gonna try to like do a chargeback or like try to do some sketchy stuff to like pretty much steal your money. So you need to have that shipping like confirmation through Amazon, or they're just gonna refund the customer, and you're out the shoe, you're out the shipping, and
Yeah.
like you could imagine like like say you spent like 120 bucks on that item, then $10 on ship, you're at $130. Like it's gonna take selling a few more items to get that back. So
Yeah.
it's not worth it. Even if it's cheaper, I would like never buy shipping outside of Amazon. Maybe if it was like a book or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's super helpful. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that apply to like what you do a good bit, or
What do you mean?
like if you have well, I guess all of your stuff goes through FBA, so you don't really have to buy shipping labels too much, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm curious about it, because I hardly do any MF at all. So I'm kind of like, I'm fresh when it comes to MF. I think there was one time I purchased some like Nabisco crackers from Walmart or something, and I MF'd them because the expiration date was too soon.
Oh, okay.
Like made some money off that, but yeah, very little MF. I do all FBA. I think it would be
Yeah.
good to think about like, all right, what's a listing that just has low competition. I could sell a few of these per month, just kind of as an additional thing, because it is kind of nice to have something that like cash flows a little faster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes like when I go outsourcing, like I still thrift sometimes. I've been trying to make more like thrifting type content recently. And so you end up finding laughing.
I've watched your recent ones. I'm like, yes. Like, I don't know, I was like, this is good editing. I was just like,
Oh, I
I'm just
appreciate that.
impressed, you know.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to just get out there and do some thrifting again because it's nice like high ROI, low risk, just super chill.
Yeah.
And it's a little higher dopamine too because even if you sell something on eBay, it's less money, but like you turn your money around faster, and sometimes it's nice to just get that dopamine. So might
Yeah,
do
and
some
you
for
see
that.
the yeah, you see the notifications come in about, oh, I bought this book for $1 and sold it for like 20. Like, you can't really beat that, you know.
Can't beat that exactly.
Yeah,
Um,
I just we need to combine methods. 'Cause if I could have 60K a month at what is it? Doing FBA, and then you have my merchant fulfill money, it'd be to the moon.
yeah, I mean, yeah, we can all learn from each other and stuff. So yeah. And I mean, honestly, like right now, because of the cash flow issues, I'm not doing 60K a month. It's more like I'm actually in the very similar boat to you. I think I did 35K this month.
Nice. Yeah.
But that's because I spent nothing in August. So, uh,
Yeah, that's
and I'm
I mean,
like
that's
depressed.
definitely how it goes.
Why is this happening to me? And then I'm like, oh, I spent like $1,000 in August. It's like,
Oh,
oh,
okay.
why? Because I was kind of selling through like I had so many returns that I had to send out, and I was trying to like pay off all my credit and stuff. And I'm glad I did, but it's low dopamine. It's not very fun. It's very good for my overall life and net worth and stuff to like solidify at this point, but not fun for the Amazon sales.
Yeah. You mean to like not work on Amazon?
Yeah, it was hard. It's hard not to like send in inventory when you're like in the mode of like I'm raising my weekly spend goal every single week, and then you're just like, nope, none.
Oh, okay, I get what you mean, like the transition. Yeah.
Yeah, and
That
so I'm spending more again, but it's
yeah.
just a weird place to be.
Hopefully we'll both have some up months soon. Like this month for my spend, I spent 42K. Like, it's the most I've ever spent.
Really, you spent 42K?
Yeah. All of this stuff's starting to come in. A good bit of it's MF, so all of this stuff's starting to come in, so um hopefully we'll have some good months. You
Yeah,
know?
I mean, when your spend's up like that, like you're probably gonna end up having like a 60K month, honestly.
Yeah. Like
Like 60 to I would guess anywhere between like 50 and 75K, maybe even 80K. It depends on the stuff you bought, obviously, but
yeah, and how fast it moves. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely I'm really trying to do more like send to the prep center so I don't have to do it, because it's slowly becoming the bottleneck. Like, I can't MF like enough stuff. Like, on any average day I'm shipping out about like 7 to 8 shoes, which isn't like insane, but I could imagine like when I get to about like 16 to 20 a day, it gets kind of like taxing, you know,
yeah.
especially when you're trying to like scale. Like, I love the MF grind and it's been good to me, but I think FBA, like, that's the only way you can really scale, because you're leveraging all of Amazon, like their warehouses, their employees, all of that.
And the exciting, you have a virtual assistant, don't you?
Yeah, but he only works on my drop shipping business.
Okay.
I don't really mess with like that business too much anymore. It's more of just like it like makes money, and I just like collect it and manage it, and
It's a good place to be.
I just I just work on like in I mean, I can be pretty transparent about it. Like, that business, like every month it made at the beginning of the year it was making like 1500 to $1,000 bucks. But for me to like not have to really like do anything with it. Like I thought that was a pretty good deal. Um,
You
I
said anywhere from $15 to $1,000. That's a pretty wide range.
no, like $1,500 to $1,000. My bad.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, but I didn't really have to do anything. Like I
that's
wasn't actively like trying to scale it or do anything like that. It just kind of like it coasts.
yeah, that's literally the dream. I mean, obviously you want more money, but I mean, $1,000 for doing very little is
Yeah, that's kind of. Well, I think Amazon's better. Like I think Amazon's just such a better opportunity because the thing is like if you get good enough, you could. Oh yes,
Josiah in the house.
Josiah.
Good to see you. We were talking
Yo.
about you earlier,
But like if
um,
you, yeah,
in good
just
ways.
I just like if you get good enough at FBA, like you could hypothetically make like hundreds of dollars per hour.
I mean, my goal is $12 an hour with Amazon FBA. If I'm making over $12 an hour, like that's a success.
Oh no.
I'm kidding. What were we even talking about before? We were talking about merch fulfilling stuff.
Yeah, merchant.
Oh, and it being like hard to scale that. I was asking you about a virtual assistant too, and the reason I was doing that is because the cool thing for me with FBA is um, I purchase an item and I don't even have to enter it into the spreadsheet for my prep center anymore. Like I trained my virtual assistant to do that. Um, and these days she's making purchases for me. So I kind of, so she makes the purchase and puts it in the sheet for the prep center and bookkeeps it in my inventory. And so like she's kind of doing the whole cycle. She's even repricing for me. And so I could just like step back and like do a 10 to 20K a month, like almost completely passive, just reviewing what she's doing, have her just run my card, which is exciting. I obviously
That's
want to do
really
more,
exciting.
but um, I'm doing every day at this point. Still, I'm like reviewing her entries into the prep center sheet because like if she bought 3 of them and she entered in quantity 1, like that's a problem.
Yeah.
If she makes a purchase that's just like not a good purchase, like I want to be able to like try to cancel the order before they've shipped it out. Just stuff like that. So I still spend time reviewing what she's doing, but it's just exciting. There's just slowly building that delegation muscle. It's so hard. Like it takes so long to build that muscle, in my opinion.
It's I wouldn't say it was like insanely difficult, but training my first VA to do like tasks, it's like it really made me like, oh, I have to think of like every single thing I do. Cause like at some point like you just do reps for certain things. Like you just do the action and you don't I mean you think about it, but it's like to lay out the whole process to somebody else, it's just a lot of work. When I get my first Amazon VA, I'm sure I'll go through the same thing.
Yeah. There was a time last year, actually last September, I was trying to flex my delegation muscle and I was doing a lot of RA at the time. This story ended pretty badly, but I was doing RA. And so I hired this high school kid who lived in my apartment complex. At the time, I had a book lister. And so the arrangement with her is I would just drop the books off outside her door. She'd take them inside. I had her set up with a dymo. She would list them for me, make the pickup. Like that went pretty well, actually. So I'm like, I'll just do the same thing with RA. And
Oh,
and so I would drop stuff off outside of his house, tell him it was there. He would list it. It only went well for about 2 weeks, and then the poor kid got injured in football, and then he didn't list my stuff for like 3 weeks, and he kept saying, "Yeah, I'll do it this weekend." For like 3 weeks, and it was like September coming right into Q4, and I was just like, "Oh no, like dude, like just ship my stuff out, man. Come on." Like I have
yeah.
$5,000 in your apartment and you're not responding to my texts. Send the
Jeez.
stuff out.
Jeez, yeah.
But he was injured, so makes sense. Like that sucks. It's just not a fun situation trying to flex the delegation muscle.
Yeah.
stuff.
And then you have to pay US employees like a lot more.
Yeah.
That's I still think it's insane. It's like you could literally have 3 VAs and it's like the same cost as like one US employee.
Yeah. Yeah. It's absolutely wild. Um, as we're coming to the hour and a half point, thank you so much for coming on. This was fun. We should definitely do this again sometime. Do you have any closing thoughts or any things you're thinking about going into the rest of the day?
No, not really. I mean, like for me, I'm really just trying to scale to the moon, and like if anybody is is listening to this and like you're having problems sourcing, um, and like say like you're trying to find like your first few items and you're just having a lot of trouble, just stay laser focused on one method until it eventually works out. That's kind of my tip, like, because a lot of things like you might think, oh, this is like say I get DMs from people all the time. They're like, I can't find any good products. And now like somebody DM'd me today and I was like, go on eBay for 4 hours and just source eBay and I'm sure you're gonna find something. Like just learn one site, one method, one category until you find success and then do other stuff. Because if you can't do it one time, you're not gonna be able to do it at all. Um, so I think like just like the laser focus on one method, like whether you want to do eBay to Amazon, flipping shoes, flipping clothing, beauty, whatever it is, just stay laser focused on like one category, one site, and just figure out everything.
And that's a really good tip. Just my add on to that, like once you've learned something, you build that. This is so cheesy, but you build that belief inside of you that you can accomplish something, that you can make money. Like if you were
Yeah.
able to make 4K profit a month selling shoes or selling eBay to Amazon, then why couldn't you learn the skill of doing beauty or grocery or random appliances or scamming people on Macari?
No. No.
Just kidding. Don't do that. Papa Ralph says,
Papa Ralph.
I just love that name for some reason. You can just like hype that name.
That's my buddy.
Papa Ralph. Oh, it is your buddy?
Papa Ralph.
Yeah, I remember having that thought a year ago. Yeah, definitely. Um, definitely got to just laser focus on something. And definitely, if you guys haven't checked out Echo Flips, check out his YouTube. Give him a follow, a subscribe. He's on Instagram and YouTube. Especially if you made it this far in the video, you are an absolute champion, whether you're on the live stream or the replay. But it was great having you on, Cody, and hope you have a good rest of the day.
Yeah, you too, mate. Yeah, definitely when this uploads on my channel, definitely go check out Checkmate Flips. He's a master at eBay to Amazon. He's been making good money doing it, so just go check him out.
I appreciate that. Right. Thank you so much for coming on. Have a good day, guys.
Yeah. Bye, guys.